right, let's move on to number 4. It says if a certain bacteria population doubles in 3 hours, determine the time in hours that it takes the population to triple. All right, so this, even though it's very short, it takes a couple steps to answer this question. So let's think about what we're given, think about what we need to find. Okay, so it says if a certain bacteria population doubles in 3 hours, determine the time it takes the population to triple. All right, so we want to find the time where the population triples. Okay, so let's think about what kind of thing we need to set up. Remember the formula, it looks just like PERT. All right, so we want our population to triple, so we want our ending amount to be 3 times the initial amount. Okay, and so that should be the initial amount times e to the kt. This is the equation we're trying to solve. All right, so we want to find time, so that's great to have as a variable. Do we know anything about k, our growth or decay constant? No, the problem doesn't tell us anything about that. So before we can even answer the question that we want to answer, so this is the thing we're trying to solve, we first need to find k to be able to do it. So how can we do that? Well, let's look at the question and see what it says. It says, if a certain bacteria doubles in 3 hours, determine the time that it takes. So this little sentence tells us a lot. A certain bacteria doubles in 3 hours. Well, what does that tell us? It tells us the ending amount is twice the original. It tells us that it doubles in 3 hours. So that's our time. So we can use this piece of information to find our k and then come back and actually find the time where it triples. Okay, if that didn't make sense, make sure you rewind and go back to make sure that it sinks in what happened here. We are trying to solve this, however, we need k first. So we use the additional information and we're going to solve for k. All right, so I'm going to divide both sides by p naught. Take the natural log of both sides. All right, and then we find that k, oops, this is just k times 3, sorry about that. Divide by 3. We now have our constant, our k. So this is the k that we're going to use up here. All right, now we finally get to answer the question. The question is, what is the time that it takes the population to triple? Well, we already know how it's going to be set up. This time, we know what k is. Remember, we don't want to round this until we get to the very final answer. Now we can find time. Same process. We need to isolate our exponential. We're going to take whatever log you want. I like to use the natural log of both sides. So we get that the natural log of 3 is the natural log of 2 over 3 times t. Okay, and then we solve for t. All right, so you could divide by this whole thing, or you can do one part at a time. All right, it's going to be the same. So I'm just going to multiply by the 3 first. And then divide by the natural log of 2. So that's our time. And it says don't round your answer, so this is it. This is the time that it takes for the population to triple.